Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and back to a brand new video. So in today's video, we are going to be going over the controversy, the heartbreaking controversy, sarcasm, of Jimmy Kimmel getting canned. Was it political? Is it an infringement on his free speech? In this video, we're going to break it down in layman's terms for the people in the back. Let's get started. So first of all, today is Friday and was supposed to be my day off from filming, but crazy over here just couldn't stop. It's just too difficult, which is why I look bummy today. My hair's a mess. I look like I just woke up because I just did. And forgive me, okay? Hopefully you're here not for my looks and my hair, but for my thoughts. Hopefully. But there are more important things happening in the world and we gotta talk about it. So the left, of course, is going bonkers crazy right now because their idol, the old holy one, Jimmy Kimmel, was canned from ABC. Not canned, he just was let go indefinitely, whatever that means, this past week. Now, the reason why Jimmy was let go is because during his monologue, he decided to lie.
We had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
Literally lie. He said in his monologue that Tyler Robinson, the killer of Charlie Kirk, was a MAGA Republican and that people on the right were trying to distance themselves from that fact and it was making them, lose their minds. Now, we all know based on the facts that that is just not true. Tyler Robinson was radicalized. Tyler Robinson was into Antifa. Tyler Robinson saw Charlie Kirk as a threat to society. He said that he was so hateful that there was no negotiating with him. He saw him as a fascist, okay? He was peddling left-wing talking points morning, noon, and night. According to his family and friends, the people who actually knew him. His friends said he was the only leftist in his family. He was so radicalized. So knowing this information, the fact that Jimmy Kimmel would still go out of his way during his monologue to lie and give misinformation for a political gain is a problem. And guess what? His affiliates said, not today. Not tomorrow, not next week. We're not doing this. And Jimmy Kimmel, by the way, knew ahead of time. He knew ahead of time that he could get in trouble and he did it anyway because his radicalization and his political affiliation was more important to him than being responsible at his job. And now people are claiming this is a First Amendment rights issue. Oh my God, he was just telling a joke. Where was the joke? If you watch the monologue, he was not telling a joke. In the monologue, he was explaining the facts about Tyler Robinson and how the right was reacting to what was happening after Charlie Kirk's death. There was no punchline. There was no setup for a punchline. He literally was, in his perspective, telling his audience the truth. And that is blatant misinformation and lies. And guess what? His affiliates, the people who put money in his pockets, the people who allow his show to even be on air, pull their support because they were not happy with what he had said. And that is their right. They are a private institution, a private corporation, and they get to make their own decisions based on what is profitable for them. And I feel like the other big part of this is Jimmy Kimmel's show was not very profitable. Late night television is not what it used to be. It just isn't. People aren't watching late night the way that they used to watch it, okay? After COVID hit, the numbers just dipped for everyone on every single network. It's not profitable. People are watching Netflix, they're streaming, they're doing other things. They're just not sitting down like they used to watch Jimmy Kimmel live at 11 p.m. They're just not doing it. And the numbers show that. So if you have a show or an entity that isn't really as profitable as other shows and entities, yet you're putting all this money to keep the show up, and then the host says something irresponsible like this, what do you think is going to happen? And the fact that people are stating, no, this is a First Amendment rights issue. It can't be a First Amendment right issue because a private company is who is stopping him from being able to speak because he got fired. Like what happens to millions of Americans every single day, by the way. Jimmy's no different. But take a look at this clip from the PBD podcast this morning. They broke down, I thought brilliantly, what was happening behind the scenes and why Jimmy Kimmel being fired makes sense. And it isn't a First Amendment rights issue. Watch this.
On this.
So there's a quick backstory. Can we do a quick backstory here? So
Let's do
Jimmy
it.
Kimmel's contract is up before the end of this year.
Yep.
And he was getting ready to negotiate. And they were getting ready to not renew him. And here's why. Rob, can you quickly go to the chart? Late night as a category has been unprofitable. These are analysts looking at
Shocking.
it, Pat, since 22.
Said no one
Since
ever.
the bounce out year after COVID, late night has been unprofitable. Look at the ratings here. Kimmel, Late Show, Tonight Show. We have a chart right up here. Look at that, Vinny. What is that? You don't need to be a math expert to look at that.
It is that weird time. It's all everybody's watching because it was Trump, 2016 Trump.
Correct.
Everybody took the Trump, and but
Yep.
people are done.
And
They're
in
tired.
they say in
Very
2022,
true.
all of the networks started suffering and saying that their late night, they had giant contracts. Remember, it's not just the host. They have producer contracts. They have
Which one's Fallon, by the way?
Late Show, right?
No, the Tonight Show.
Tonight
Jimmy
Show.
Fallon.
Who's the Late Show? Colbert?
Yes.
Okay.
Late Show.
And
So Kimmel was Fallon was number one. Fallon was number one.
barely.
He crushed it in 2014, whatever that was. Yeah, he was, because that's right after Leno. You see Leno and then comes Fallon. At least Leno kept going at 0.96, 0.85, 0.85, then shows up
The good old
for
days.
1.01. And then Fallon, year one, is on fire, 1.5 for 1.18, 1.02. And then by year four, he fell below what Leno was and never recovered from it from 17 on. Go ahead,
That's
Tom.
exactly right. So here's the backstory. Late night unprofitable since 2022.
Unprofitable.
They're about to negotiate with Jimmy Kimmel. And guess what? This gave them the reason they needed. And it was affiliates and advertisers that first went to Iger. And supposedly, as you just covered, Kimmel was going to double down. And Deadline Hollywood and some others were leaking out that some people on the writing staff
This
kind of
part.
leaked who are looking for jobs tomorrow, Vinny.
The writing
Not
staff.
just the star with the big contract. How many people are around, like a comedy show and stuff? You got like 12
Oh, there's
people,
so many people,
directors,
writers,
good people
everybody.
with jobs,
Yeah,
right?
line
Do they want to
producers.
protect their jobs?
Of course.
Might they have whispered upstairs and says, hey, he's about to double down tonight.
Yeah.
I
if their job is on the line, too.
I don't want to be really part of this. You guys can do it. And what happened was then Iger's people said, dude, you know, you're not doing this. You're not doubling down. And they pulled him off. But everybody runs to First Amendment and all that. This isn't First Amendment.
This part.
This is an employee gone haywire. And you've got advertisers and other people. So let's put it into our perspective, Pat. You have a company. You're selling things. The customers are upset with the salesperson.
Yep.
The customers are upset with one of your employees. You know what you do? You say, go, wait a minute, let's look into this. And an employee might get fired or put on the bench for a few minutes. That's what happened here. This was and by the way, Chris Cuomo got it right. Last night, Chris Cuomo was saying, hey, he got sideways with this employer and his employer took action.
That's what happened.
That's what happened. But the big thing, Pat,
Period.
is ABC and everybody else have been looking for a reason to move these off because as late night as a category,
Dead weight.
it's getting killed by Netflix streaming and alternatives because the new generation doesn't want them. And by the way, Kimmel is 57. Leno, they started talking to him about getting off the air because he wasn't doing good with the demographic when he was 59.
Yeah,
and he fought it until he was 63 when they finally pushed him off.
I think Vinny has a great idea.
So I wanted to show you guys that clip because it is so important, right? I mean, here you have people claiming that Jimmy Kimmel was, is being targeted for his First Amendment rights. No, it's about a business decision that his affiliates, the investors, saw what he was doing, didn't like it, and he got pulled. He got pulled because, number one, his show is not as profitable as it used to be. You saw the ratings. I mean, it's clear as day. It's clear as day. Jimmy Kimmel is not what he used to be in the earlier days. He's just not. Not as funny. The show is not growing like it used to. The ratings are tanking. And his show has become completely politicized. Completely. Watch this clip of Johnny Carson, one of the greats of late night television, discussing why he feels, and this is back in like the freaking 1970s and 80s, he's explaining why it's a bad idea for people who are in entertainment, specifically night shows, why they shouldn't be politicizing their shows. Watch this.
People say he'll never take a serious controversy. Well, I have an answer to that. I said, now, tell me the last time that Jack Benny, Red Skelton, any comedian, used his show to do serious issues. That's not what I'm there for. Can't they see that? But you're not. Why do they think that just because you have a Tonight Show that you must deal in serious issues? It's a danger. It's a real danger. Once you start that, you start to get that self-important feeling that what you say has great import. And strangely enough, you could use that show as a forum. You could sway people, and I don't think you should as an entertainer.
Legend. Absolute freaking legend. He said it best. He said it best. He said it perfectly. He said it perfectly. Nobody should have the power to persuade people. You should not use your platform for that reason. And that is what has become late night. Late night is just an extension of CNN and MSDNC. Let's just keep it real. And it's why their numbers have completely declined, because guess what? Back in the day, half of those numbers used to be conservatives and Republicans. Everyone used to watch late night because it wasn't about politicizing what was happening. But now it's become a litmus test of how left you are when you watch those stupid shows, which is why their numbers have declined. Turns out, isolating half the country isn't smart. And investors are realizing that, which is why they canned Jimmy Kimmel. The funniest part is seeing the left, the woke left, going crazy over his firing as if he was some type of martyr. I mean, you have people putting tweets out there talking about, we are all Jimmy Kimmel. By the way, this is only a week after Charlie Kirk was murdered, and there was a hashtag that said, we are all Charlie Kirk. And now they're trying to mock an actual person who was killed for his free speech. And they're trying to make it equivalent to what happened with Jimmy Kimmel, who, by the way, Jimmy Kimmel can pick up a mic anytime he wants. Charlie Kirk can't. That's the difference. And the tolerant left, look at this. This is after Charlie Kirk was killed. Do Matt Walsh next. Trump next. Nice. Do Matt Walsh now. Charlie Kirk is dead and has been for a few hours. Trump next, please. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And this is all day long, the day of his murder. And these same people are now crying, saying, oh, Jimmy Kimmel, oh my God. So heartbreaking. Forgive me if my sympathy level for Jimmy Kimmel is close to zero. Actually, it is zero. I could care less. Because Jimmy Kimmel is still alive. Jimmy Kimmel didn't lose his life for speaking his views. He lost a job. Big deal. But I love screenshots. I love screenshots because screenshots remind people of exactly what they said. So here are some fun screenshots I'm going to show you guys of some prominent liberals over on X who are crying and complaining because poor Jimmy Kimmel was taken out by the horrible right. Censorship. Yet they were extremely excited and happy when Donald Trump was banned from Twitter by a private company, by the way, penalizing somebody for political reasons. They had no issues with that. And by the way, they also had no issues when the Biden administration was censoring and targeting people online who were speaking negatively of his administration. It was happening left, right, and center. And by the way, as a conservative content creator, I can tell you I know exactly what that feels like because I have been censored and I have been shadow banned so many times on platforms for simply doing what I'm doing right now, speaking up, giving my politics. And for a very long time, if you were on the right or you were a conservative, you were not allowed to speak. And now the left is getting a little taste of their own medicine and they can't handle it. Guess what? You guys made the rules. Deal with it. You're getting a taste of your own medicine. Tastes good, don't it? And the greatest icing on the cake is Jimmy Kimmel himself. So here's a comment that Jimmy Kimmel made after Roseanne Barr was fired from the same network, ABC, for having a political position and making a joke that didn't land. She got fired and Jimmy Kimmel said this: "We have a lot to talk about tonight. Let's start with Roseanne Barr, who, as you know, probably heard, tweeted something disgusting about Valerie Jarrett, a former aide to President Obama. She compared her to an ape, which is not just offensive, it's racist. And ABC, to their credit, didn't waste any time. They canceled her show today. I'm not a fan of censorship, but this wasn't about free speech. It was about consequences for saying something vile. You can say what you want, but networks don't have to pay you to say it." Interesting. Roseanne's been a friend of mine for a long time, and I know she's not a racist in her heart, but what she tweeted was indefensible. You can't just blame Ambien for that. Actions have consequences, and ABC made their call. Jimmy Kimmel, May 29th, 2018. So Jimmy, what happened? What happened? Like you said, but networks don't have to pay you to say that. This is also Jimmy Kimmel after Tucker Carlson was fired from Fox News. And listen to him and his empathy and sympathy for Tucker.
Fox News has severed bow ties with Tucker Carlson. After all these years, they are parting ways, which means he was fired. I mean, that's really what parting ways means. Tucker couldn't be reached for comment. He's already on a plane to Moscow to meet with his manager. But what a shock. I mean, what an absolutely delightful shock this is. Now Tucker can spend more time at home tanning his testicles and touching himself to that sexy green M&M. Sadly, he's probably not done poisoning old people's brains. The question now is, where will he do it next? Will he go to OAN? Will he go to Newsmax? Will he crawl back up Satan's fiery beehole from whence he came? We don't know. One of the most despicable mother Tuckers ever to appear on American television.
Rules for thee, not for me. This, folks, is called karma. It's called what you put out, you get back. So forgive me if I'm not as sympathetic to poor Jimmy. Yeah. Not happening. The left can kick rocks. Cry me a river. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comments down below what you think of this video. What do you think of the current happenings between Jimmy Kimmel and ABC and what they're doing to him? In your opinion, is this free speech being infringed upon, or is this just a private network making a decision about an employee who went rogue? Let me know down below. If you enjoy my content, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit my notification bell so you know when I post a brand new video. Until next time, peace.